So some of you know I got a turbo kit for the BRZ, so that means we got to fit some gauges into it. So what I got is some DeFi gauges. We got pressure. What is this one? Temperature. And this one should be boost. This one's boost. And then I have an AFR gauge. And I have this Blitz gauge pod holder. But if you notice something, this is made for a right-hand drive model. So what I'm gonna try and do is I'm gonna cut the outside of it, flip it over, and I'm gonna mold it to an existing bezel here. So who knows, it might come out good, might come out crap, but we're gonna try it out. Ow. Woo, it's ready to install now.
Is it done yet?
Yeah, it's done. Here.
Is it already in the car? How's it boosting?
Good. Turbo.
Is it already boosted, dude?
Yo, dude, turbo.
I can see the boost.
Turbo.
Holy shit.
So now all we gotta do is cut. Damn, that kind of hurts. It's like a $200 gauge pod that we just cut up.
Yeah, perfect, dude.
So we're gonna cut the silver one with a smaller hole,
First come, first serve.
so we could fit the edges of this in, so we could see where we wanna, how we wanna position the pods. I also picked this up, 40 bucks, not too bad. This little grommet thing makes it a 52 mil, and then you take it out. That's a 60 mil, so it can fit whatever gauge I want. Sick. Wow. Oh, so that's gonna look so cool. Oh, it looks so cool. So we just have to fill it in there, and
I have to cut this closer.
It looks good though.
Okay, baby.
I was worried that like the curves and whatnot, like when we sand and put it together, it's gonna be like have like noticeable you know, blobs, but
Don't worry, babe. I got this. I got this.
that looks really good.
So close.
You still have to make some trims?
Stupid corner, yeah.
Well, it looks pretty good. Okay, so what are you doing next?
I'm staple welding the plastic together.
Once it's all held together, we just fill in the gap?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Today is a very special day. Today I'm finally putting in the gauges in my BRZ. Here we got pressure, temperature, and boost. As you can tell, I have no boost yet because my turbocharger is right here. So without further ado, let's get these gauges wired up. There's a video on YouTube that I will leave a link in the description where a guy takes these exact same gauges and this is the wiring, so they all correspond with each other because the wiring that comes with these, it's a ton of wiring and it's gonna be very messy. So what he did was take the wiring, cut it down, and make it more simplistic. And how I'll be hooking up the pressure and temperature is I'll have the temperature hooked up to the thermostatic oil plate, and I'll have pressure feeding from the top of the engine from the block. I got this wiring kit from Amazon, and I think this cost me about 20 bucks. And in it comes with a bunch of different sized wiring things. So it acts as a heat shrink, and when you put heat on it, the solder in it melts and it solders the wires together. So as you can see here, this is where it connects to the gauge itself, and I combined the 3 wires into one. All the wiring for 3 gauges instead of a rat's nest. Alright, so here it is. Obviously, installation, disconnect the battery cable. Orange wire is ignition. Red wire is 12 volt battery. White wire is illumination, black wire is obviously ground, so that's pretty simple. So it's been almost a year since I retrofitted this gauge pod. It looks a little different than from when you last saw it. We put some Play-Doh in the cracks so I could get it scanned for CAD, and we put some Bondo over it so it was a little easier to scan. So this is the one that you saw with the silver with the original Blitz face. So I think I'm going to use this on my car and actually do some body work and get this fitted. But we just got these back from testing, and these were both scanned differently. I believe this one was scanned up and down, this one was scanned left and right. So what we're gonna do is test fit these, and I told him I wanted to keep these tabs right here so it would mount up OEM, because the Blitz actually doesn't have any of these tabs. What you do is when you mount it up, there's a clip here that mounts to this side of the panel, and there's a screw hole that goes to the side of it right here, which I'm not really a fan of. I like the OEM clip-on look. So that's what we're doing today. We're gonna be taking off the OEM panel, which is easy. You just pull up here, kind of pry it a little bit, ever so gently. And I'm actually gonna miss this panel because I actually do like this panel. Nice suede look. So the Dremel isn't really working that great. As you can see, the bit is like maybe half an inch. It's not a big size. So cutting is kind of taking a long time. So to help persuade the plastic, I got a flathead and a razor blade so I can kind of cut into the plastic. Okay, so new game plan. I'm ditching the tapping into the headlight switch and start stop button. I went to AutoZone and I went and got a mini ATM-LP fuse tap. So what this does is you put it into your fuse box, it sends power through the wire, and then you can crimp that wire to whatever you're using. So like underglow or a dash cam. Like for me, I'm using my gauges. So we're gonna be using this. All right, so I got this power wire coming from the other side of the dash. Just like that, we have a power wire with a fuse tap. So when I plug this in, we should be getting 12 volts power to the both AEM gauge and the DPHI gauges. Okay, so update for the gauges. The wire I tapped in for the illumination, I went through the clock and I found out that the purple wire that goes to the clock in the head unit gets power for illumination. So I tapped the white wire into here with some electrical tape. Not the best job, obviously. I'm not an electrician, but that'll have to do for now. So it is 3 in the morning right now, and I'm ready for bed. So and when you turn on the lights, it is now the next day, and I am on a time crunch because I'm currently about to leave for Japan. So I have the gauges set up, they're wired in, but they are not hooked up to the sandwich plate so they can read temperature and pressure and whatnot. So that pretty much wraps it up for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any questions or anything else about the gauges, please let me know in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next one.